Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Ifeoluwa and today we'll be continuing with our web development series titled Web Simplified. Sorry, this is supposed to be, yeah. So today we're going to be looking at styling and Bootstrap. Um, from the last session, if you have not checked that, please do well to check the first video on this series where I introduced web development and starting with HTML. So we already have like a source code for that, which we're going to be continuing today. So I would endeavor that you please check that so that you'll be able to follow through with this new video. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at two things basically, and because the aim of this channel is to ensure that everyone is scaling 4 times faster than they can ever imagine, or that the regular pattern of learning web development. We're going to be looking at styling. We'll just do a few styling with the current CSS, the current HTML code that we have, adding some CSS, seeing how to add CSS and the likes, and then we'll get into Bootstrap because we really need to move at a pace. Okay, so today's goal is to add CSS to our previous HTML pages from last session and introduce Bootstrap. So what is CSS? CSS means cascading style sheet. CSS stands for like the link I told us the last video. Please check that if you have not. In the last session, that HTML is like our structural design, whilst the CSS helps us to add like some these like some UI, some interface, some like interior design kind of, if you're talking in terms of building structures to our HTML pages. So at the moment our pages are lame. I can just launch that here. At the moment our pages are lame. Besides, I have some extensions that I might want you to probably look at later, but I mean I don't want to get into the cause of that now, right? So here, at the moment, this is what we have. We have this page where we have visit our online store, then go back home. I think when you click on an item as well, buy, then you can see where you fill in your details and the likes. So at the moment, our HTML is just like normal text markup language, but we need to get this to run properly in terms of we have to make this look nicer, add some pretty nice design and the likes. So for us to do that, we need CSS, and that is the essence of CSS, where you kind of style and make your pages look nicer and attractive. Of course, the JS function is there. Those are like even higher than what CSS is doing, but we're not getting into JavaScript now. This is called CSS, and there are three ways to add CSS to your code. You can either add it inline, internal, or external. So I'm going to explain that before we even get into writing them. So when we say inline, right, inline, as the name implies, means that on the line of your code, you can just impute whatever features within, like whatever style within that line. Take for instance, this is inline CSS method 1, right? So for this method 1, what we can do is take for instance for these calories, right, in my code. Let me just go to store. I'm going to just show you what we have now. This is the store at the moment, right? So what I can do is for this calorie title, right, I can just do a style, right? So with the style, I can do a color and say red. So once I do this, this is an inline styling. When I refresh, you can see what's happening. That becomes red. That is how our styling begins. Of course, there are much more advanced things that we'll look into. That is how we can style our HTML pages. So of course, when we are styling as well, right, we can do other things like the font type, the colors, the font size, quite a number of style attributes that we can add. But we're going to look, I mean, it would not be really nice. The reason why many times you don't see inline style is because it would be really nice for you to have style, like you have to style like this, say red, color red, font size 24, 24 points, or 24px, whichever one. 24 points. Next is let me look for something. Text transform, uppercase. So this line of code that I've put here now, right, is going to do something. It's going to change the color to red, make the font size 24, and then transform the text to capital letters. You can see. Do you understand what it does? But if I'm going to add this feature, right, if I'm going to add this feature to all calories, like to all title carrying calories, I can't be copying. It is not proper for me to copy and paste this around all the calories. Imagine if my code is 10,000 lines, I'll have to copy that. So that's why inline CSS is not always advisable, except you have specific feature or specific reasons for adding them. But the second one can help in that regard. Which is the internal styling, right? So internal styling is a kind of style that you can define within your code or within your HTML script, but it would apply across all all the elements within that page. Take for instance, you have to add your inline style or internal CSS. You have to add it within the head section. I told us about the head section last session or if in the previous video, right? So this is the head section of my website. So for me to add this feature here, what I can just do is I just do style. So once my computer sees or my code editor sees this, he knows that I want to begin to define styling within my page. So of course you have to open and close your style tag, right? So if I'll just copy this out, right? I'll just copy this out and remove this from here, and then do a th and paste my previous codes from that point. Let's see what happens. So when I go to online store, you can see. So for every element that comes as the th tag, it gives this attribute. So you can see my calories, protein, everything becomes same instead of me having to copy. So with my inline style, I have performed this magic. But I have done something here which you need to understand. There's difference between styling an anchor tag, like an HTML tag, or styling with class. So now what we have styled is the tag. That is why you see this is the tag we have styled, th. So you see that every element that fall between th has become red and has the same effect, right? So what you can do in that regard is that in a case where you don't want all elements to carry this, like now I don't want protein to carry the same effect, right? All I just want is for calories. So I'm going to just change that and change it to a class. So for you, when you are defining style in a class, it's different. You have to define it with a dot and say you can give your styling different names as you best, but of course there are good practices as to kind of naming convention you should use, but there are good practices as to that. But you can just give, for now we can just say cal, right? So this cal means that the name of the class is cal. So anytime I'm going to add this styling to any element, I'm going to give it the class cal. So any element I give the class cal will carry that effect. So now all I just need to do within my code is, instead of copying and pasting the style in the previous inline method, I'll just ensure that all my calories are of the class cal. And my issue is resolved, right? So very easy, very simple. Now, next thing to do, of course, we can still look at some other styling. I'm just introducing the styling methods or how to import CSS generally. So now this is a style, right, within our head. That is the internal styling. So the last one is the external styling. So for external styling, these are done especially when you're having like a bigger project. These are done when you have bigger project and you have several styles. So like take for instance, my style.css file might contain things that has to do with maybe text and the likes, and my design might be contained in another file called custom. or UI.css or whatever .css you are calling it. So to import all those files, we now use the external styling method where I just do this link within my head as well, link, then relation is what? Style sheets, then source, right? Oh, sorry, for HTML, for CSS, you use href. And then you put the directory of the file, which let's call it style.css now. This file doesn't exist. So close the tag. You should have that. Should have this, right? And then close the link. So let's see what happens with this. So with this now, what we can do is, let me comment out this particular one. Let's see, all our files should return to normal, right? So this is normal now. So I'm just going to copy this particular style that we have written here and create another file. So what you will do is you create another file and name it style.css. And let me just paste. You don't need to do any add tag, except in cases where you are beginning to import fonts. Well, at this moment, everything is fine as it stands. So if I save now and I do that, you can see, right? So let me remove that import. Once I remove this, my file will go back to normal. Once I bring back the import, my file returns to what it should be. So these are the 3 ways of importing CSS within your file. You can either do it inline. So take for instance, okay, now let's just try inline. Let's try mixed. So now, what I want to do is, within this my script, I want to add some features. Like I want to give my shop as you want a specific style. So I can just do that with internal or inline rather. So I'll just say inline, come to that paragraph and do style, right? Style, I can just do font style. I can just do italic. Of course, you can do that with I or EM. Font style, did you just put IT? Italic, yeah. Then I can do color, aqua. Let's see what happens. You can see. So I have mixed style here. So I'm using both inline and the external. I can still come as well and do internal, where I'll then define for my image. Don't forget, I said that when you're styling a tag, like an HTML tag, you don't need to put a dot. But when you're styling a class, you put a dot. We'll still get to the use of ID as well. If you want to style with ID, then you can use the hash. So for this now, I'm just going to style my image. I want to style my image, right? So I'll just do something like this. I'll do width. Let's do width 200, height 200, and then can we give border radius here? We should be able to. So let's do 30px. Let's see what our images will look like. Can you see? Look at my image, right? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to fit object fit cover. When we use object fit, that means like I want it to fill within a particular container size. But at the moment, it doesn't look like I have a container and then the images, some have background, some don't have background, so the effect is not really so obvious. But what I can do again is, I'm just trying to combine the styles. So what I can do again is to give my image first a div. So I want to put my image in a div, right? So I'll create a div and then put the image inside of it, and then call this class products image, right? So I'm going to call this class product image. Let's do this. Okay, so with the product image, let me give a color. Let's give gray. Let's see how it looks. Okay, I'm trying to wonder why that's not showing fault. Okay, I've only added it to one item, so that's why. Let's add a padding so that we can see it in the edge. Padding 20 px, let's see. My gray is not really showing. And I'm not, okay, background, sorry. This should not be a color, this should be background color. Yes. So, why is my width so extensive? Change my super using object cover. Max width. Max height. So I'm trying to figure out why I'm getting this extensive. Just taking out that for now. My div is extending beyond the screen size. So, oh, sorry. Let's do px. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't put a unit, so you should please ensure that you're following appropriately. So I've just added a unit now, and for that to now happen, so my image, now I can start my image and say my image. So I want to show us one thing again. There's the parent-child thing in every element. So now, product image is the parent of the image I want to work on. Means that any image that is not under or that is not a child of product image, it won't apply. So I'll then do a dot product image, then image. So every image within that range, I just do that. So I'll say for my image, I want it to be this size. I can make this one 160. Yes, so 160, right? Let's see. I should be able to align item center. Let's see if it goes center. No, that should come to this other. I'm just showing you a few things how we can contents. Okay, my div doesn't want to take that, so let's do text align. This is just something we use so much. So let's do text align. Yeah, so with text align, everything comes to center, right? Okay, so I want to be sure this, where's the list style coming from? So I want to remove this list style, right? From here, this dot showing, I want to remove it. So what I can do is I'll just say, let me show you from here, style, list style, no. Let me just bring it. So let me bring it between here. I'm styling this, so I'll just do list style, no. So once I do that, all the dots will disappear. Do you understand? Every e-commerce website you see actually does, everything is a list, right? But you won't see that number or something. So to remove that, you use this particular style, list style now. So for that to happen, yeah, I think this our border radius is pretty big. So let's drop it by like 20. Yeah. So let's increase the width of our image like 180. Let's see 190. I'm just trying to do some nice pretty UI for us. So I'm going to drop this border radius back to 10, and then I'm going to duplicate the same thing for the image. So they both have the same kind of feature. Yeah, it doesn't even look nice though. Let's just make it like 8 or 5. Yeah. So now, if you realize that if I now change this particular image, this particular color to white, everything looks nice. And then I can add a box shadow. This has actually several things within it. Not sure if I can remember all these syntaxes or all the stuff I'm supposed to write inside, but for now let's leave box shadows. Okay, so next thing to do is I wanted this to reflect that. So let me just show you a way we do it actually. I like to be truthful to you. So let me just say, in case you find yourself here, just do add box shadow to CSS. Very simple. You can find something like maybe on this kind of thing. I don't want this. I don't want this kind of thing. I don't want this kind of thing. I don't want this kind of thing. Yeah, I think I like something like this. So I'll know that my image is within that. Can you see? It's very nice. So you have this. You can, of course, this is just the color to show how the color will go. Can you see? So my background, I can decide to change it to anything. Maybe this aqua blue kind of thing. So you see the effect slightly. Yeah, so you can see that. So I already have this style now. What you can do now is across all your images, right? Across all your images, you can then put in this style. So what we can do is, okay, maybe we should bring the name of the item into this place. So within my div now, I can add the item name. So I don't need this table again, though this table was just for description. So where we display this? So we'll bring this to. Yes. So you see something like this, right? And then we can now also style a button. So we can now style a button. All this BR that we are doing, I'll show you how to remove that without, to do that without BR. So yeah. Okay, so let's do a paragraph for this. So we are going to style our product name. This is not exhaustive thing about, it's not everything about CSS. I'm just showing us the cause. Like, okay, so this is this, and then of course I'm going to give two class product name, and then this other class will be button, product button. You can just say product button class product button, or just call it BTN. Sometimes it's good to make it very nice. I'll be very short. Okay, so product name, product button. So we have to style these two. So next thing to do is to go to our class where we're defining our class. You can see now we have mixed three. We have mixed the three styling. We have done inline here. This is internal, and then this would be our external file. So we can actually bring all this into our external later, but let's just be doing this for now. Product name. So for my product name, right, I can just do font weight. Font weight bold. That happens instantly, right? Text transform. I want it to be capital letters, so I'll just do uppercase. Capitalize we just do for first one. Uppercase, and then line height. I just do line height to like maybe 10 px. Yeah, so that's, let's change it to like 5. That will come up a bit. Yeah. Okay, looks like we need to probably increase the height of our whatever a bit. So we're doing that. Next is to add the product button. Okay, do you want to give the color? I think the current color is fine. So we don't need this particular one that I've done. This calorie is looking big. It was just to show us how to style. Yeah, so this should be nice like this. Next, we'll have products button BTN, right? So now is with, let's say fit content. Then let's do margin. So there's difference between margin and padding. Margin is for the external spacing kind of offset, while padding is for the internal offset. So when I'm doing margin now, and if I give 20px, means that I want, okay, let me add the background color so we can see what we're saying. Background color. Let's just do, let me see what this looks like. Alright. Doesn't look nice. Let's just do orange. I don't want F6 C0 C0 or something. Let me see what this looks like. It doesn't look like it. So I just want to pick a color that looks nice. So let's do this. Yeah. Okay, so within this now, right? So we'll say with fit content, product button. Did I say fit content? Sorry. With let's say 80 oh no, sorry, 150 px. Then height of a button knowledge ranges between 40, 42, 46, 56, like that. I'll just do 56 px. So let's see what's happening. Oh, sorry, height. So something is still not changing. Means that something is not right with our button. With product button. Let me see what we have inside. Class product button. I won't be sure what we have that is making it not following what we're saying. With height. Let me see if I change this to max. Or min. Am I sure I've given the right class? Okay, the color is changing, means it's the right class. Let's see. Padding 100. Why is that working? 10px. Are we within any class that is restricting us? We are not. Come on, let's just do something. Let's see. Let's give this tag A. Let me see what happens. Let's do the same thing. Okay. So let's check why that is happening. So I'm going to inspect this picture and see what is preventing my button from expanding beyond. Of course, it's not responsive, so that's why we have this look. And that brings us to, there's something we call responsivity. I will get to, I want to be sure why my image is just not trying to fit with. Okay, product image. Okay, we shouldn't do height. So it's giving us the display inline right event. Okay, display inline. Okay. So where have we displayed this inline? I think I want to find out where we're saying we're displaying it inline. That's why our width is not working. So you see how I'm inspecting this. That's how we find out error. So I want to be sure where I'm not using anything inline property event. What am I displaying is inline. To be sure where I'm displaying anything inline. Would it be a function of my text? Okay. I just want to be sure that everything is alright. Still doing the same thing. So why is it saying inline? Shouldn't be spending so much time on this. We should just define our button and everything should be fine. Try setting display to that. I don't just want to get on to set display because I'm not doing anything inline. I've not even set a display yet. Or have I in my dreams? Maybe because we're using a list though. Okay, let's just style it here and say display inline flex. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's what it will do. So why is it flex? I'm not sure why this is happening though. Our button should style normally, so I'm trying to wonder why we're having this issue. Let's drop this height so that we can have this nice one. So that's how it is. We have issues sometimes with some of these things, and I'm not sure where that is coming from. It's telling me that I have try setting to display. So I want to know if I'm to, let me just set display flex. Okay, how does this affect that though? If I do block will not allow it to stay on a row with anyone. Yeah. Why is my height even looking so crazy? So see margin here though. Yeah. Okay. Maybe that would do for now. We'll get into it, inspecting this later. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why we have to do that, but yeah, padding is just to make the button bigger. Yeah. So my margin is applying only to a side. I can see that already, but I don't want to get too much into that. Okay, so well, at the moment with 150, if we do 180 to make it wider, yeah, that's it. Not sure why my margin is also hard. It's just walking to one side. Have I added margin anyway? I've not had it. Looks like these things are coming predefined with the list anchor tag itself, or the list tag itself. So let's just do this for now. We really might not necessarily need all this. So one effect I also want to show us is for this button now, right? Let me just do some text changes on that as well. I don't know. It should apply directly if I don't font style or font decoration, text decoration rather. I don't want that text underline, no. Sorry. So I don't want this by underlined here. So I'm going to then change the color to white. So I'm going to then change the color to white. Then we have this right now. Then you can give your button some border radius as well. Sorry we spent time on unnecessary time on that particular item. I don't know why though. So one thing we can also do is you see that when you go on some website, you see when you touch this button, it's supposed to change color. So what we can do is come with same class. So what you just do is dot product button, then you do a column. See a column? Yeah, column. Then you say over. Yeah. So over means when you carry your mouse over it, right? Then you do background color. So for this background color now, I can change this color to, let's just look for something maybe lighter than it. So it will show that this particular item we are currently on it. So you can see. So as you are hovering on it, you can see the effect. Is it this one you want to buy? Is it this one? So that's how it works. Very nice stuff. So now this effect, this styling that we have done now, we can then apply them across all our items. So I'll just do I'm just doing BR bro, but this list actually should be displayed inline. So let me just do inline flex. Display inline flex. Let me see. No, I don't want this. That should be UL. Sorry. So let's do our UL to be displayed inline flex rather, so that all items stay on one row. Actually, we could use div for all that here, so you can see. So what we can also do is for each item, right? So I'm going to set for each item. I'm going to set a margin 30px, so that it will space it out from each other exactly. So what we can then do is we're now going to apply this to all other items. So the same way, I can just copy this and then do, since this one is made here, so the image will be brought in. So I'm just doing this, right? And then next is this beef, so give it beef. So you can then remove these other ones, right? Next is you can just do same for this. Please ensure you follow this thing with details. You can do as much as you want with styling. Beef. Of course, there are some other things I would like to mention after now, like in terms of, because we just jumped a few things. We jumped the header, we jumped the footer and all those things just to style the products, right? But I just because I mean, if we do kind of like an e-commerce, you see that many of these things will fall in place. But you learn more when we get on Bootstrap. So this is not beef. This is now what? X. So I just carry this egg image. Did I remove the egg image? Okay. So I'm just going to carry this egg image and then remove this name. Of course, there are better ways to do this. You could just do a div directly and then do your rows and column within your divs. We'll see all that later. So you can see, but my home should not be a part of the items within the row. So why then is my home coming here? So you can see all my items. Did I display A? I didn't have any anchor tag to A. So I'm not sure why A is also falling in line with this, my inline flex. But let's see. Let's carry A out and give it its own div to be like another section. So let's see what happens here. I don't want A to, so I don't want A to be a part of those stuff. So one thing I want to also show us is now you can see we have very nice interface. Well, we don't have an header yet. I mean, I don't want to stress us on, like, we have, like, basically focus on the elements. So we have this, it tells us calories, we have this, we have this, we have this. These 3 items now, right? So, okay, let's do something. Let's just do like an header. Like, let's just do header. Body. So, I'm going to do a nav. Sorry. You can style your whatever anyways. So now within this nav I can then I could design let me just do something. So we can do, say, header, right? So this header I can say width. This time I'll use width 100% because I want it to be full 100%. And the next thing you can do is height. Height of the header can be like maybe 80 px, right? And then let's give color. Let's use that color we have been using here. Yes, that's the one. So in my nav, let me just give that. Let's see what happens. Oh, background color. I'm always missing that. Color is applied to sometimes text or elements or content, but the background color is, what should I just do? Yeah. So you can have something like this. Welcome to our store. I remember starting off with my stuff. Like, I used to do some Macwi and all those things. Like, let me show you what I mean. So with my welcome to my store, let's start this. Let's call this class intro text. Right. So this intro text now, what I can do is let's place it inside the nav. Of course, you can import logos of your whatever as much as you want. You already saw how to import an image. Yes. So let's call it intro text here. So under the nav, I can say text align center. Let's see. I should bring it to the center here. I'm not sure why I have padding up. Let me change this to a div. You could do a div actually. I'm not sure why I'm having a padding up there, but let's see. Margin 0. I'm not sure why that is actually up here. I don't want anything up there. So let's inspect and check what exactly we have done that is giving us that body display block. Title. Okay, so our button is showing some margin 8. So what we can do is take that out and say margin 0. To make it, what's making that happen? I'm not sure why. I want my header to be like top. I'm not sure why I'm getting this HTML kind of thing. Okay, anyways, one thing I also want to show you within this body is we're styling a tag now. That's why you see there's no dot. I want to change font family. So when you have VS Code, it shows you some predefined fonts. You can import other fonts later, but I like this segue. So yeah, I always like it. It makes your stuff look nicer. So we have this, and then okay. So for the intro text that we're talking about, have we styled it at all? I don't think we have. So I'll just bring the intro text under here. It's good to put them in hierarchy so that you can know which one is next. So color white. Let me see. And then you can add font size. Let's do 32 px. Yeah. So I'm just going to do a padding top or margin top, whichever one, of 20 px. Let's see what it drops for us. Margin top 20 px. Why is it not dropping? Okay, if that's not working, maybe our sizing is too much. Let's do padding. Okay, so we have kind of like something like this. Welcome to our store, blah 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 blah. Okay, our body still wants that margin though, so let's drop it at 10 because some of our element has entered inside. Okay, so shop as you want. Let me just put that under here. Let me just bring the shop as you want under this tab too, so that it will be nice. Yeah. And it has even fallen out of the height of our background. Anyways, no issues. So under this header, I want to give like a margin button because my elements are just way too close to it, so 50 px. So it will drop them down a bit, yeah. So we have this. So I can even center this on my own. So for this, I can just do like an inline. I can just say class style text align. So when you are doing all this, be sure to understand why you want to do it or reason why you are doing it. So that look at now, so our home button comes to the middle. Do you get? So be sure to know why you are doing it. When it's iterative or when it's repetitive, you can just kind of define classes and all those things. I'm just doing that because I want to show us everything. So we have some nice UI. Basically, we don't have logo though, but some nice UI. I think let me show you what I used to do back in the days. So there's something like I hope I still remember. So there's something like Markway. Do I even remember the spelling? Let me see. I want to be like I'm not sure if I remember though. Let me see whether it will work. Is it R? Yeah. So you can see it's scrolling it already. So let me remove that padding top so that you can see it already. Yeah. So welcome to our store, blah blah blah, all those things like we were just in my back of the days. I'll be back in the days tactics. So you can just do some effects with that. Of course, we have not gotten. You can do much more with stuff like JavaScript functions that you can define within that space. But for now, let's just stay with what we have. I'll just put that in the shop as you want thing. Yeah. So we can be enjoying this for now. So if you're able to get this done, trust me, you won't find the next level difficult at all. So what I would advise is ensure you practice this, ensure you're able to achieve all these results. Like I said, I promised in the last session, I'm going to upload this right now and create a GitHub repository for it. So I'm just going to do that now, github.com. I'm supposed to introduce us to Bootstrap as well, so I'll just show us a few things, and then from the next session we'll start looking at Bootstrap. So new, let me just do it from here, but I didn't want to confuse us. Anyways, let me just do it from here. Please ensure that you are following appropriately and take the step one after the other. Don't skip any video parts. Ensure you follow so that you won't miss a detail. Okay, so now is web session. Web dev simplified. Let me just give it that same name. Right. So this is source codes for web development tutorials. Right, it's going to be public so that you can always find this. README, just we don't need license or anything right now. So web dev simplified. So I've just created this repository, right? Now the files are not here, it's just created the repository directly. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to clone this, right? I'm just showing you how to do version control. So I'm going to clone this in my computer and then move this my code into it. So I'm just going to go to my terminal. I didn't want to create it using VS Code so that I will be able to see. So on desktop, I'm just going to do git clone, then paste the link from GitHub, and then it's going to clone it. So it tells me I've just copied an empty folder. Yes, I agreed I've copied an empty folder. So what I'm going to do next is I'm now going to open that empty folder on my desktop. Yes, this is it. So I'm going to bring it here. So it says add folder to workspace. Yes, I'm adding that folder to workspace. Yeah, so I'm going to just copy all files from my web folder into it. Copy, paste. So now once I do that, you would realize that my Git icon here would carry some, or will show some updates. So when I come to this file now, right? So when I go to Git, yes, so it's going to carry some updates. Just I think it's waiting to sync. Yeah, so you can see it's wanting me to push all this up. So with VS Code it's very easy, but let me show you the actual way when you're using a command line. So now that once you've updated your files within that folder after cloning, right, the next thing to do is to add those files. So that's what it's telling me to do here. I'm supposed to add every file that I've uploaded to the Git branch or to the Git repository. So I'm going to do git add, then dot means add everything, right? Oh, sorry, I'm on desktop, so I'll cd to web dev simplified. I'm showing us this so that we can understand how version control works, right? And like I was saying before, at the moment this is empty, so just watch what happens. So I'm going to do git add dot means add all again. So it does that. You don't need to see anything, just complete that. So it has added all those scripts to your commit branch. So to commit, you need to add a message. So it says next line to do is git commit dash m means message. What is your message? My message is session 2. That's for today. So once I do that, so it shows you all the files that is ready to be pushed. This is just a commit, right? So I'm going to now do git push, and then he uploads all the file from my local computer to the server. So it tells you that okay, this has been done. So if I refresh this page now, you see that my file has been updated. You can see all the files, right? And then you can see when it was done, when it was done. So now This file, I'm going to add this to the description, this link. You can also clone it so that you can see the script. But it will be good also if you practice and you're able to achieve this yourself. Do you understand? It will be good if you're able to achieve this yourself. So that will be that on this part of it. So for CSS, you can see what we have been able to achieve, the internal, inline, and then the external. So let's just quickly look at what Bootstrap is, and then we can call it a close for today's session. Okay, so I'm not going to use this. Okay, I'll start using this from now. So I'll just launch this instead, start web preview. Yeah, so I'm going to close this other one. So means that I'm no longer going to be using this my old desktop file. So remove from workspace. Yeah, so once I do that, next thing I'm supposed to do now is visit online store. Yeah, this is the one we have styled, and then you can have as much as you want. So now let's come to Bootstrap. What's Bootstrap? Bootstrap is a framework. It's not a library. It's a framework for UI, web UI design, and then maybe some web apps. So for you to know more about Bootstrap, just go to this website, getbootstrap.com. This is it. So what happens with Bootstrap? Bootstrap helps us to fast track everything, like whatever we're trying to build. Now we have been like for some couple of minutes, we've been on this. Trying to I don't want. Why is it running this? Okay. Why is it running this? Open. It's one of my driver that's just running, or one of my extension. I don't want it to run. Why is it running? Okay. But anyways, we've been trying to style this for a while now. Yeah. So it's just doing this view instead. Okay. So it's just doing the view instead. So this Bootstrap kind of like helps us to fast track all these parts where we have to be styling all these things one after the other. No. So in order to overcome that, I told us at the very beginning, if you have not seen those my videos where I was talking about programming or tech or web development, please check my previous videos about them. I was talking about some libraries and frameworks that like helps you to make your job easier. So you just focus on your use case alone. You don't have to write buttons, you don't have to write the code for button, you don't have to write the code for header. You just style it to your preference. So this is what happens with Bootstrap. So with Bootstrap, what happens is with this CDN, right? I'm going to I use content development, delivery management, network. So with CDN, you have everything from Bootstrap in your app directly. Means that you don't have to do anything. All you just need to do is copy this, right? Paste them in your code, and then you're able to use every style and class within Bootstrap. Same applies to JavaScript. Like maybe you want your sliders to scroll left, you want all those things will still add one after the other. But now let's just look at that with this, right? So I'm going to use content delivery network. Sorry, it's not manager, it's content delivery network. Sorry, I wasn't. So with content delivery network, what you can do is, let's get to Bootstrap. I'm just going to create a new page under this web simplified. I'll just call it new file. Bootstrap.html. So let's see what happens. I don't want this to run. Okay. Stop the web preview server. I don't want it to preview. How am I not able to edit? I'm sorry, I'm just not able to edit my text. stock. Okay, so I'm just going to restart my editor and see what's happening. Don't save. Okay, so I'm going to open new window. So for that, I'm sorry, I just needed to get that done. I'm not sure why it is. Okay, yeah, so I'm back to styling. So, like I said, just do some doc type HTML, update later. So HTML, add title. There are some meta tags that we need to be adding though, but we are not getting to that yet. We are just focused on Bootstrap check. Framework. Right? Body. H1. Hello world. Okay, so with this now, what I'm going to do is I just want to open that page alone, so I don't want to be linking it. So I'm just going to do Bootstrap HTML. Yeah. Okay, so we have this. Right, so we want to check what Bootstrap is. So first thing is, I've showed us. This is just for us to see what Bootstrap does. This is where you get Bootstrap accessories or Bootstrap files. So go to Bootstrap CDN. Let's use this version. So all I'm just going to do is I want to copy the HTML link. So the same way is now you are using an external link. So I'm just going to do paste that. You can see, so it's external link of style sheet and then integrity. All those ones are just for, but this is the main file we're trying to import, right? And then next thing is import the JavaScript as well. So just click on it, copy, and then next line, paste it as well, right? So we have imported these two in our file. So if I do hello world now, I think my hello world should have changed. Oh, sorry, this is our previous one. Bootstrap header. Okay, so let's go to Bootstrap now and go to example. Oh no, let's go to docs. Right. So for documentation is how you see everything. So look at what this has given us now. Let's just copy this to clipboard instead. Hello world. What's happening? Why is this one not responding to my? I think I already imported Bootstrap, so why is this not falling in line? So I'm just going to remove this. Okay, sorry, it's my fault. It's my fault. We're supposed to refresh. I thought I was still on the server one. So we're supposed to refresh. So when you refresh, you can see the font has changed, but that's not the bone of contention. Now, go to layout. So for Bootstrap, these are documentation of how to use everything. But we're not going to bore ourselves with all this story. First thing we'll just go to examples. So inside example, from my very first video, I showed us how to do some magic, right? So that same magic is what we're going to be doing here. So you see snippets, right? See headers, see heroes, like I'll explain what this is in the next video, but I'll just show you one for now. So take for instance header, right? Now we have like different types of header all here. You have header with your logo, your links on top, the one for links at center, the one for, so we're going to use this third one. So let me just show you. So what I do in case, okay, I think I like this fourth one. So my very first video shows you how to inspect. Please, you can watch that again. So I'm going to inspect this right now, right? Of course, if you follow that other one, you would like, if you follow the docs, you will find all this somewhere, but I just didn't want to. So you click on this icon. I'm just going to inspect this fourth one, right? So it tells me this is it. So this on this particular header item, I just right click and copy elements. So when I come to my screen here, in my body, I can just do this. Then if you come here, refresh, Viola, you have built an header. So all you now be doing is just changing this to whatever you like, say store, pricing, whatever. You can remove the ones that don't apply to you. Everything is done. You see, we didn't need to style the button. We didn't. So many things can be done with this. Let me show you another one. Let's just bring Hero to play. Hero is like your landing page kind of canvas where you see maybe slide bar, a sliders and the likes. So let me show you. Okay, this one. So now look at it to show you different heroes. So the same thing. I'm still on my inspect screen. So let me use this one. I'm going to just change this image. Or which one should we use? Yeah, I'm just going to change this image. So let's inspect this one as well. See, when I inspect this, I'm just showing how you can, build these things faster, understanding it as well. We're not doing root the answer though. So this is the example B divided. I think this is it. So you copy element again, right? Come to header, down. Let's refresh. Let's see what happens. Now, can you see responsive like? So this image, we want to change it. Let's pick one of our products. So I'm going to go to my products store. Which picture has a good image? I'm just trying to look for which of them has a good image. I'm not sure why. It looks like I want to uninstall this extension that I have installed. This preview, I installed one preview. Is the one changing all this for me to this? So HTML preview. Wow, I have quite a number of extensions. Let me see if it's this one. Oh no, I don't want to start reloading anything. Okay, so but for now, I'll just make do with what I have. I'll just get another image instead. So let's just get an image. Say I'm just going to get Flutter. Sorry, web dev image. So I'm just going to get a web dev image and say okay. So let's just copy this image. Copy image address, right? And then in our website, come to the image link. You should be able to find that by now. Come to the image link and paste it. And then when we refresh this, our arrows would have changed. You can see. Now our UI is looking really nice. So say web development simplified. You can see now that what happens when you are using kind of like a framework with when you are using this kind of frameworks, it makes your job easier. You don't even have to worry about so much, right? So much, less stress, but you have, look at the overall that we had to do with styling and all those things. Everything is ready made for you. Let's just do start now. So all you just need to focus on is what you want, your content, and then how to put them together. You get, so many of these things, there are several frameworks as well. There's Tailwind, CSS, and all those things. You get start now, learn more. So you're only going to focus on your content and how to put them together to make them look nice. So this is what Bootstrap can do for you. And in the next video, we're going to look at the core features of Bootstrap, do so many things with it, bring in the JavaScript part, add some slider, add some effects, create forms and the likes. And I hope you are following and enjoying these sessions. Please ensure you like, subscribe, share to your friends. This learning is as easy for anyone under the age of, I think, from 10 upwards. You should be able to follow this. So if it's whoever you think you probably want them to get in line with this kind of learnings, please ensure you share, like, and subscribe. follow the videos, try to practice. Like I always say, consistency is key. Practice, 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 and then before you know it, you are where we are thinking that you should be, or you would even surprise yourself by surpassing your expectations. So please like, share, subscribe again. Thank you. My name is Ifeoluwa. I hope to see you in my next session. Cheers.